new ones from the use of angels.
So now the whole thing has been proven out using empirical data as well as the Word of God. Now we're going to watch some TV commercials. Okay, here we go with the commercial section. Now, at the beginning of this DVD, you saw serpents actually eating live rabbits, and those rabbits were screaming, and I was trying to make it real for you. Because the point is, we're all being consumed by the serpent, all of you, from the inside, and you're being self-cannibalized by the serpent, and that's why the entire Vatican is a large keyhole with a cross that went in, got turned upside down, and then the upside down cross became the serpent wearing the crown. The cross represents the race of beings that we are, and we got turned into the serpent, and we got locked into serpent flesh. Okay, I'm going to read to you again from the Targum. And Adam knew Hava, his wife, Eve, who had desired the angel, and she conceived and bare Cain. She said, I have acquired a man, the angel of the Lord. And she added to bear from her husband Adam his twin, even Habel, which is Abel. They were twins. And inside that womb is a cannibalistic system, Cain and Abel, because the whole system is based on twins. And Adam called the name of his wife Hava, Eve, because she is the mother of all the children of men. And the Lord God made to Adam and his wife vestures of honor from the skin of the serpent, which he had cast from him upon the skin of their flesh, instead of that adornment which had been cast away. And he clothed them. So they lost the glorified bodies they had, and they put on serpent skin. That's why this whole church is built as an exact representation of that. So they got turned upside down, and they were given the skin of the serpent, and that's why this whole building is a serpent wearing a crown, as well as an upside down cross that represents the door has been locked, and they've been turned into the serpent. And that's why you have this representation, the double-headed phoenix, they're twin birds, and they are ruled over by the serpent. And that's why the crown that's connecting the two DNAs is the head of a serpent. Because the serpent is the king ruling over the twin paradigm, the twin system. They each have DNA coming together, both V's making a W. Here is a representation of the twin towers, and I've taken 2 DNA strips and replaced the twin towers with 2 DNA strips. We're going to watch the avocado from Mexico commercial that you saw at the beginning of this presentation. Avocados are shaped like the uterus and the cervix. See right there? If we were to put that avocado right there, there you go. And avocados have been shown to balance hormones and prevent cervical cancer. And guess what? It takes 9 months for a baby to fully develop in the womb, and it takes an avocado exactly 9 months to grow from a blossom into a ripened fruit. An avocado resembles exactly the uterus and the cervix of a female reproductive system. Here's the joke that's on everybody.
Good afternoon and welcome.
What?
I said good afternoon and welcome. Can we release the masks? Just take them off. How can we be a secret... How can we be a secret society if we can't keep all of our secrets?
Do they know we faked the moon landing?
No, not yet.
Or that there are only 49 shades of gray?
They're suspicious, but that's not what I'm talking about.
What about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot's not real and everyone knows that.
Did they figure out we deflated the football?
No, we found a fall guy for that one.
Bigfoot's definitely real.
Nope.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
What about Area 51? Do they know about that?
No.
How about Area 52 to 54?
No, stop saying areas. No areas plus a number.
Literally hundreds of photos of Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him once. Wait,
See?
wait, Bigfoot? I'm getting it wrong. Paul Bunyan?
Point is, someone is leaking this stuff.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm not looking at you, Anne.
I've seen his footprint when I was
Scott! What they do know is that avocados from Mexico have good fat.
So they know they're healthy.
They know everything. Kyle, are you streaming this?
Is that not cool?
No, it's not cool. That's what secret means. It's a secret society.
Oh, wow, secret, yep. Hey, I got a like.
You got a like?
That was me.
I like you too.
At least they don't know about subliminal advertising.
That's not even a thing, right?
Eat them!
What the?
So So this is what they played during the Super Bowl. And it's a parody on secret societies. And they're making fun of conspiracy theorists. And they're bringing out all these particular conspiracies that people have come up with, that the moon landing was fake, which is probably true. The moon landing probably was fake. And all these other things that have come out into the general public. And they're making fun of it because they want you to laugh at it. They're trying to distract you. Let me show you what the just sinister, evil, wicked, nefarious, hidden meaning was in this commercial. It takes 9 months for an avocado to grow. It takes 9 months for a baby to grow. At the end of the commercial, they're all scarfing down on avocados. It's really a parody that they're all scarfing down on humans. Let me show you. Remember that in the twin system, that the twin towers represent twin DNAs. Each parent donates 23 chromosomes for a host body. So each twin tower represented the number 23. 23 and 23 is 46, and that's what makes a host body. 2 DNA strips right here. Take a look at them. They look just like a pause button. Now, let me show you in the commercial where they hid the nefarious truth right in your face.
How can we be a secret?
So he's reaching over to pause the chanting that's going on. How can we be a secret society when we can't keep our secrets? Look at the number that's on the CD player. See the 2 lines represented by the pause button? Does any CD you know of have 23 tracks? Of course not. It represents the twin DNAs, 23 and 23, represented by the pause button. And they're talking about, how can we be a secret society if we can't keep our secrets? The real secret is right there. You're looking at it. An avocado is shaped like a female uterus and cervix. It takes 9 months to produce an avocado. It takes 9 months to produce a child. And now they're making fun of everybody, talking about subliminal advertising, and then they're all eating avocados.
At least they don't know about subliminal advertising.
That's not even a thing, right?
Eat them!
What the?
Uh-huh. Eat them. They're really talking about eating babies, folks. That's how sick and twisted this is. Eat them. That's why we put it at the beginning of this presentation. At the beginning of this DVD, you probably had no idea what this was about. Now you know exactly what it's about. This is not some innocuous commercial. This is about cannibalization right in front of your face. We're going to watch another commercial. Let me first show you some of the guys that are in the commercial. This is Tom Hiddleston. He played Loki in the Avengers with the big devil horns. And this is, he played the Beast in the X-Men. Remember that between the 2 V's, it makes an X right in the middle. Okay, well, let me tell you the meaning of the name Loki. It means Loke, to cover the lid in, it means to close or to lock up. Loki is also Indo-European root meaning to break. In Norse legend, Loki was a trickster god associated with magic and fire. Also, Loki is the god of destruction. And that's what the name Loki means. And it's going to become very apparent when we watch this commercial what the real meaning behind this commercial is. Are they really trying to sell Jaguars? Or is there a more nefarious, cryptic thing going on here? Now, before I start, I want to make sure you understand. In the beginning, Satan and his goal, Lucifer, was to capture in a snare God's angels and get their essence, get their souls, cannibalize, self-cannibalization. So they end up going to the pit and being food for him. And when they created this system, they created a beast. And that's the beast system. That's what we live in. Because inside every human being is a good you and a bad you, a beast. I want to read to you the lyrics of a song by a group called Imagine Dragons. I want to hide the truth. I want to shelter you. But with the beast inside, there's nowhere we can hide. When you feel my heat, look into my eyes. It's where my demons hide. Okay, you ready?
It's time for a change. A new plan needs a new boss. It's time for something more surprising, more British, more Jaguar.
We've already created a beast. Now it's time for a new animal. With the same potent DNA, but even more ruthlessly efficient.
Unleash the cats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away.
Go on, my pretty ones, go on. Go on. Go forth and rule the roads! Oh yes, it is good to be bad.
If that's really selling a Jaguar, and people really believe that that's really about selling a car, well, okay. Let me show you what this is about. A new plan requires a new boss. That's Lucifer saying, I've taken over. The two have become one.
It's time for a change. A new plan needs a new boss. It's time for something more surprising, more British, more Jaguar.
He's Loki, the god of destruction, the one that has captured and put a lid on that, the meaning of the word Loki. Now it's time for something more surprising, more British, more Jaguar. He snaps his finger and the guy that plays the beast gets up off the couch.
We've already created a beast.
Now, what's really fascinating is when he goes to his chart here of the periodic table of elements. See, he has an OH, one going up and one going down. That's the right side up in the upside down paradigm. One's right side up, one's upside down. Now, listen very closely to what he says.
Time for a new animal.
And now it's time for a new animal. Now it's time for a new animal because the two have become one. So they've created a beast. There it is. The outcome justifies the deed. Now it's time for a whole new animal.
For a new animal. With the same potent DNA.
With the same potent DNA. Remember, this is all about DNAs. Remember the Twin Tower? Let me show you. We screenshotted his eye right there. The same potent DNA. Let me show you. There's that DNA right there. You see how the shadow of the chain link fence made a triangle right on top of his eye? Because that's the DNA they're talking about. Lucifer, the all-seeing eye, using the same potent DNA.
But even more ruthlessly efficient.
But even more ruthlessly efficient. Now the car turned from white to red because it's going to be a bloodbath when this thing's unleashed. And when I say this thing, I mean the beast inside of every human being has turned literally straight up to a beast, because the consciousness inside of the human condition has turned to an absolute beast, cold-hearted and remorseless.
Unleash the cats.
Okay, the Jaguar emblem spiraling through the air, and then it turns upside down and it lands on the car, and then boom, then the whole new animal is energized. Release the cats. The word CATS is an acronym that stands for Combined Aerial Target Systems.
The same potent DNA, but even more ruthlessly efficient.
A whole new thing. Combined Aerial Target Systems. That's what's going to start everything.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Okay, you see the map behind him, like a nuclear launch? Release the cats. Combined Aerial Target Systems. It's a British Armed Forces acronym. And now look how all the cars are lined up, and look in the background how it's a map of the world, and it's a launch. Combined Aerial Target System. Release the cats. Like a missile. Like they're going into, like they're shooting out of silos, like nuclear weapons shoot out of these tubes that they're in.
Go on, my pretty ones, go on.
Go on. Go forth and rule the roads. Oh yes, it is good to be bad.
So, again, if you believe that commercial is about selling a car, it is not. It is about DNA and a whole new race of beings that's been birthed within the human race. That's why they used Tom Hiddleston, which is played Loki. That's why they used this guy that played the Beast. That's why they said release the CATS, Combined Aerial Target System. And then as the symbol goes onto the front of the Jaguar to energize it, you'll see it's upside down and then it lands in the opposite direction, like everything's come full circle. And they've got their new race of beings. There it is. And they'll start the whole thing by releasing nukes. That's how it's all going to get started, the whole thing. We're going to watch another version of this Jaguar commercial. This is a version of the same commercial, but watch what's in this one.
It's time for a change. A new plan needs a new boss. It's time for something more surprising, more British, more Jaguar.
We've already created a beast. Now it's time for a new animal with the same potent DNA, but even more ruthlessly efficient.
Unleash the cats.
XE.
Introducing the new generation of Jaguar.
Okay, XE is what was on your screen. It says introducing the new generation. Look where all the cars are. They're all parked in front of the Tower Bridge. You notice something odd about the letter W on the Tower Bridge? Again, you have the two intersecting V's. So you have a V with an X in the middle and a V. The new generation of Jaguar. By the way, XE is an abbreviation for alien. There all the cars are parked in front of the Tower Bridge right here. The twins, see? It's the London Bridge. They are identical. And the logo for the Tower Bridge, just like Twin Liquors, you have two intersecting V's making a W, which is exactly what you have for the Tower Bridge in London because it represents the twin system. This is the world that you're trapped in. This is the host body system that all God's angels got trapped in. Some were complicit, apparently, and, everybody was in some way complicit or you wouldn't be here. And apparently some of us, God has acquitted by coming taking our death sentence for us and dying on a cross. His purpose was to make one new man from the two, destroying the enmity. Because there's a good you and there's a bad you. There's a double you. Let's watch another Jaguar commercial. In Richard II by William Shakespeare, there's a scene where one king is going out and another king is taking over. And I'll just give you a quick part of it. It says, John Gaunt, ill and dying in his house, talks with the Duke of York while he awaits the arrival of King Richard. Gaunt hopes that with his dying breath he will be able to give the foolhardy young king Richard some advice that he will listen to. York says this is unlikely. The king is too surrounded by flatterers and too interested in the follies and fashions of the world. Gaunt replies that if this is the case, he must prophesy with his last breath that Richard is headed for doom. His rash fears blaze of riot cannot last, for violent fires soon burn themselves out. And then here comes his speech that is in the Jaguar commercial. He goes on to lament in the play's most famous speech that the beautiful, fertile, and divinely favored country of England has been rented out. This royal throne of kings, this sceptered isle, this majesty, this seat of Mars, this other Eden, demi-paradise, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England, is now leased out. I die pronouncing it like a tenement or pelting farm. So that is, the quote from the play itself. This one is called British Villains. And I want you to notice the color of the cars. One's white in the commercial and one's black. The black one gets turned a 180 degree. But let's watch the whole thing and pay attention.
This royal throne of kings, this sceptered isle, this earth of majesty, this seat of Mars, this other Eden, demi-paradise, this fortress built by nature for herself against infection and the hand of war.
They say Brits play the best villains. But what makes a great villain? Firstly, you need to sound distinct. Speak with an eloquence that lets everyone know who's in charge. Gentlemen. Excellent. Now, a villain should have style. The suit should always be bespoke, razor sharp, like your wit. It's important that a villain has the means to stay one step ahead. World domination starts with attention to detail. Take this tiny switch, for example. It changes everything. Now brace yourselves. This happy breed of men, this little world, this precious stone set in the silver sea against the envy of less happier lands, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. It's all mine.
Okay, so this is again an Antichrist figure, the devil saying it's all mine. Now let's go through and have a look. In the commercial, he's driving this white Jaguar as he pulls up, listening to, the one king is going out and another king is going to take over.
But what makes a great villain?
And then he gets out to go meet these guys at the elevator, and look at the two become one.
Who's in charge?
There it is. And now these two come and hand him this case, and he walks to his car. Okay, pops his trunk. I want you to look at the trunk right there. Oh my gosh, VXV. You mean the same thing as the Tower Bridge. V intersecting V with an X in the middle. He gets in and he says you have to stay one step ahead of your enemies.
It's important that a villain has the means to stay one step ahead.
To stay one step ahead, he turns his enemy the opposite direction, like turning him upside down. Watch. There you go. That's how he stays one step ahead, turning him upside down, turning him the opposite direction. Now watch.
World domination starts with attention to detail. Take this tiny switch, for example.
Take this tiny switch, for example. It changes everything. It's a representation of launching nukes.
It changes everything.
And then he drives off. He starts reciting more from King Richard. And then he says, it's mine, all mine. And that's just straight up the devil saying he's taken over. That's all this is. Are they really selling a car here? Let me show you what the number 108 represents. The symbol for the Church of Satan is an upside down 5-pointed star. The number 108 right there is a harshad number, an integer divisible by the sum of its digits. Harshad in Sanskrit means joy giver. 108 was the number of choice for this simple reason. 108 represents the whole of existence, and it represents a pentagram, because the angle between these vertices in every quadrant is 108 degrees. 108, 108, 108, 108, 108. It's all probably just a big coincidence. Y'all starting to notice an absolute irrefutable common denominator here on twins? Have you noticed it's the same thing? Then notice this little switch. It changes everything. What little switch?
Unleash the cats.
when he's in the car and he's driving off and he presses it, he says, now brace yourselves. And he says, it's all mine. This is straight up Luciferianism at play right in front of your face. Okay, this concludes the Jaguar commercials. Now we're going to do a few more commercials.